you're a string player, your instrument is really, a life partner, sort of akin to a spouse. You want it to bring out the best in you, and you want to bring out the best in it. I'm Jane Bowyer Stewart. I'm a member of the first violin section of the National Symphony. My violin was made over 300 years ago in Venice. 1691 is what the label says, and the maker was Matteo Gaffriller. The back has an unusual wood to it. This is bird's eye maple. You don't see that very often. Also, it's a one-piece back. You don't see a seam down the middle. When my family was in Italy about 20 years ago, I took a sabbatical and we lived in Rome for a time. So, of course, we had to take a trip to Venice to bring my violin back to its birth city. And I even took it on a gondola ride, but in the case, of course. I wanted to show a couple of other things from my music room. This is my piano. My violin has a particular richness in the lower register that I love, and the same is true of this piano, which is a Bösendorfer. I fell in love with its sonority because it has quite a resonant bass for a piano this size. Its previous owner was actually Elizabeth Taylor. That's true. And over here we have evidence that my violin has appeared in Washingtonian magazine. It had a solo. It was helping me model spring fashions one year when I was in my 20s. Washingtonian decided that for their spring fashion spread, they were going to feature different artists from the Washington area. They had a mime, and they had a dancer, and they had a musician, and I was the musician. And I got to pose in this nice Donna Karan outfit, which I did not get to keep. One of my very favorite NSO moments occurred when we were playing Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. It's that glorious ballet music. This time we were playing actually with dancers, and Rostropovich was conducting. Towards the end, when Romeo and Juliet had expired and were lying stretched out on the stage, Rostropovich suddenly stopped conducting while we were still playing, and we had no idea this was going to be happening. He turned around and he stepped off the podium and he knelt down next to the dead young lovers, and just as the music resolved to its final chord, he gently joined their hands. And it was a very touching moment. And to me, that gesture seemed to symbolize the harmony between the art forms of literature and dance and music, and even to show how music can bridge that life-death divide. During the pandemic, a lot of violinists are flocking to Bach because he wrote so much amazing music for unaccompanied violin. But thanks to a dear friend, I learned that Telemann also wrote music for violin solo, 12 Fantasias that are quite wonderful. And I wanted to play the first movement of the 7th Fantasia.